womanhood. He needs he needs me to model what a healthy woman looks like. Healthy meaning mentally, first and foremost, mentally healthy. I think that's the most important thing. In my years as a mother, I've been unsane. The early years. You know, I'm sure a lot of mothers can attest to just your sanity is, you know, can be on the edge. But, you know, growing up with my son, and we're able to have conversations and laugh about moments, those moments. You know, one of the things Dad said was, you know, I was really kind of nervous about this interview because, you know, you're checking yourself as a mother thinking, what have you done? And my husband's like, relax. And when I did relax, he's like, and I thought about all the things I could say. What could I say about my relationship with my son? After I've done that, I, you know, was able to call my husband back and said, now I can just think about what I look like, what I'm going to wear, what I'm going to put on. He was like, and that's what being a woman is. Though you should have the opportunity to relax, enjoy yourself, laugh. You know,
I've had situations with learners who have children, and you know, I set an expectation. When you go to work, you have to find childcare. When you go to class, you got to find childcare. However, we're not going to create barriers either. So one time I had a student preparing for a test, and she had her little son in there with us. And I know we're talking about males, but it's all relevant because we have single Black fathers too, younger, trying to get their education. But we got so into our math lesson, she was prepping for her exam, that when we looked up, the 2-year-old was holding himself up between two tables. And I said, okay, we need to stop because we too focused. We got to make sure this baby is safe. But what I'm saying is, there are no excuses when you have a goal in front of you.
Tell our viewers who you are, your marital status, and the age of your boys, the name of your boys, and even the grade level of your boys.
Absolutely. So my name is Tanisha Cameron Cole. I am a wife and a mom of 3 sons. I have an all-boys family, no girls in my home. I have a 17-year-old son by the name of Tayon. My middle son is 11, and his name is Tyler. And my youngest son is 8, and his name is Trent. So my husband and I have been, you know, at this for 17 years now, and it just feels like, oh my goodness, the time has just kind of flown by. It's just amazing.
Awesome. So 3 of them.
3 boys, no girls. I'm the only female in my home, including the dog. The dog is nasty.
What a privilege and an honor for you.
That's right. I'm the queen.
Contemporary and or current events. Contemporary and or current events. So in the Black church, our manual or the thing that we're following or our textbook is the Bible. And so what's been very intriguing to me is how a minister or a pastor can actually take information within the Bible and make it applicable to my life in 2021. So let's give an example. So we have all heard the story of Mary the Virgin who gave birth to Jesus. And so if you start looking at her story more in depth, you begin to realize that she actually had a plan for her life. She was going to marry Joseph. They were going to live this traditional, they were getting preparations of getting married. Mind you, now Joseph, what? I mean, he's in the lineage of David. And so, you know, he's not poor. Let me say it again. He's not poor. And so Mary is now betrothed to be married to Joseph. And then all of a sudden she meets an angel. And as a result of that, she has to make a decision because now the Heavenly Father has chosen her and has said pretty much, I want to disrupt, or I want to interrupt the plan that you originally had for your life. Will you allow me to do that? And Mary could have said, you know what, I'm good. I don't want to do that. Or Mary's response rather has been, yes, do as you will. And so if I apply that to 2021, when I have been provided with an opportunity or a situation happens in my life, do I throw a temper tantrum and say things like, I'm not going to do it? No. Or do I have the same response that Mary had, which is do unto me according to your word and according to your will? Yes, I choose to say yes to this. And if you notice, 2,000 years later, we're still talking about Mary. We're still talking about what she was able to do. And so what you begin to see is that there is actually a blessing. There's actually a good thing that comes about by being able to take biblical principles and apply them to our lives in 2021. So let me ask this question. Mistakes do happen in life, and we all make mistakes. So when your boys do make mistakes, how do you go about coaching them in terms of whether it be consequences or life lessons? What does that look like in terms of your home?
So, I think some things that come to mind are definitely the severity of the mistake. So that severity then leads to, a conversation with me and my husband in terms of what the consequence needs to be for their mistake. But what we always do from the jump start is get their take on what happened. That's really been the cornerstone of how we operate as parents. We want to know their side. We want to know their perspective on things. We want to understand if they know they did something wrong or did someone else tell them they did something wrong. We also want to engage in that dialogue to be able to say, okay, well, if you had to do it over again, what would you do different? Or would you do anything different? And there are circumstances where they say, honestly, well, if this happened again, then I think I would do the same thing, and I hope I wouldn't get in trouble. So, there's instances where there are things that align with their value system that we then have to navigate. Okay, well, your intent was good, and it was based on, the right thing. Maybe you were sticking up for a friend, and you ended up getting in trouble for, being a part of something that you didn't necessarily need to be a part of, but you felt like you needed to, stick up for a friend. So we can have that conversation about, okay, what did you think was going on? Why do you think you got in trouble or made a mistake? And what will it look like next